Okay, guys, fight week, UFC 155, Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos 2. It's going to be a great fight, but let's first start with the other fights that's on the card. It looks like a fairly decent card, very interesting fights. We've had some changes over the months, but looks like they built a pretty good card. So let's go ahead and start with Chris Leben and Derek Brunson. To me, this is a close fight between Chris Leben, only because Chris Leben and Derek Brunson, only because I don't really know what to expect from this Chris Leben. You know, he's kind of up and down, up and down. We all know that Chris Leben, at his best, can throw bombs, for 3 rounds. Even at his when he's very tired, he can, throw some really strong punches. And Derek Brunson is he's a very good wrestler. But I don't think that he'll be able to, be willing to exchange with Chris Leben. And for that reason, I'm going to give the fight to Chris Leben, because I think Chris Leben will be, even though he may tire out and, from throwing so many bombs and whatnot, I think eventually want to get through, and he'll get the KO in about the 3rd round, I would say. 3rd round, he's going to get the KO. Then we have Boetsch versus Phillips. So please excuse me if I'm chopping up this guy's name. But anyway, Phillips seems like he is the better all-around athlete. Tim Boetsch seems like he's not the all-around athlete. And you can kind of look at that, at how his body structure is. But he's not a flashy type of guy. His striking is more constant. He'll wear you down with his striking and eventually get one in. And knock you out. If you've looked at all of Tim Boetsch's fights, he seems to always be coming back from a comeback, except his last fight, which was against Lombard, where he kind of just took that fight down, took charge of that fight and really pushed through and did what he needed to do. But then again, Lombard really wasn't fighting at all really back. He was just kind of just stepping back. But in this fight, he's going to definitely get a fight with Phillips, but I just think that Tim Boetsch's constant punching efforts and constant coming towards and using his dirty boxing will prevail over what Phillips can do. So I have Tim Boetsch winning this one by decision. Then we have Jim Miller and Joe Lauzon. Both of these guys are pretty. I mean, this is another hard fight because both of these guys have kind of the same skill set as far as their fighting style. Both of these guys are excellent jiu-jitsu guys. They both, the only difference between both of these guys is Jim Miller seems to look like he stretches out the fight versus Joe Lauzon looks like he really tries to end the fights fairly quickly. And but I think Jim Miller is going to stretch this one out and end up catching Joe Lauzon in some type of submission. I don't think it's going to be a situation to where Jim Miller will knock him out, but because let's look at Jim Miller's record, and you can see that he's not a knockout artist. Obviously, he's a submission artist, and that's what I believe is going to happen in this one. Jim Miller is going to go in there and drown out the fight for into the 3rd round, and then catch Lauzon in some type of choke, armbar, something that Lauzon probably would have caught in the 1st round, but as the rounds go on, and when you get to the 3rd round, he won't necessarily be able to pick up on it so fast. So I have Miller winning this one by 3rd round submission. Then you have Alan Belcher versus Okami. You know, Alan Belcher, he's just an excellent fighter. He's one of these guys who's just an all-around great fighter. He has great submission. His striking is good. And then you have Okami, who is, he uses a lot of wrestling. And the funny thing is, he uses a lot of wrestling. And he's probably one of the only Asian fighters who I really see uses a lot of wrestling. And that's probably because he trains with a lot of wrestlers like, what's the guy's name? I forgot his name. But he trains with a lot of wrestlers, and you can see that. But he's also got good grappling skills. But what he loves to use is that jab. But I don't see Alan Belcher being trapped behind that jab like Okami has been able to do with other opponents. I see Alan Belcher being able to get past it and being able to adjust and being able to take advantages of Okami's weaknesses. And then from there, I don't know. I think if I had to choose, I think that the pressure game of Alan Belcher would prevail in this type of situation. If you pressure Okami, he seems to break down fairly quickly and seems to panic fairly fast. So I think Alan Belcher is going to use that type of technique to put the pressure on him and to do what he needs to do. And I have Alan Belcher winning this one by decision. Now we have the main event, guys, which is Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. This is their second time fighting. I definitely do not think that the second fight will go like the first fight. Reason being is Velasquez is going to be looking for it. He's going to be very cautious of that first round. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to pick his takedowns. He's going to really feel him out, especially being a championship fight. Cain Velasquez has some great training partners, and Daniel Cormier and just some other great wrestlers. And Junior Dos Santos, as everyone knows, has good takedown defense. Also, his boxing is really great. I mean, his and in some instances he really depends on it too much, but it's one of those things to where I always say that fighters should always take advantage of what they're best at, and Junior Dos Santos is definitely best at his boxing. His boxing is really probably the best in the heavyweight division. I don't know anyone else who has better boxing than Junior Dos Santos, and he has power behind the boxing. Sometimes people will like to argue with me and say, "Oh, he doesn't have power in his strikes. Look what happened with Big Country." Well, Big Country just has a solid jaw. He takes a lot of shots, and it's hard for anybody to really take him out. But trust me, he hits hard. Junior Dos Santos hits like a freight train, and most people who get hit with his shots will go down. And as you saw, Cain Velasquez was no different. So in this fight, I don't think that it's going to go like as fast as it did with their last fight, but I still do think that the boxing is going to overwhelm Velasquez. I think that he's going to be trying to go for takedown after takedown after takedown. At a certain point, maybe not in the beginning, but he's going to try to get this fight onto the ground to take away his striking. But I don't think that it's going to get there. I think the defense of Junior Dos Santos is going to prevail, and he's going to be able to take advantage of those shots and maybe hit a mid shot, maybe hit him when he's got his legs, get his back, mount him. Or, Junior Dos Santos is known for backing up and standing, and let's stand back up so he can do what he does best. And I think that's what's going to happen in this one. And I don't think that it's necessarily going to be a knockout, but I do think it's going to be a clear decision for Junior Dos Santos to retain his heavyweight championship belt. So what do you guys think about UFC 155? Who do you guys have winning? As always, guys, it really helps out my channel if you guys rate, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you guys on UFC 155 review. Peace.